Yo, what's going on, crew? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Serrano. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the Google Pixel 6 after a little bit over 1 year of using this device since its release in October 2021. And one of the things that you may know if you know a little bit about smartphones is that when the Google Pixel 6 released, it was a big deal when it came to smartphones. And that's because the Google Pixel 6 was the first Google Pixel beta release with its own Tensor and Titan security and a whole litany of features along with it. Make sure you guys stay locked in and I'll get right back with you. So when the Google Pixel 6 released, it was a big deal because it was an affordable flagship device that was released around the time when other flagship devices were priced at about $800 and up. But when you first saw the Google Pixel 6 release, it was at a price point that many people could afford. And it did get released with the Google Pixel 6 Pro, but this device was able to offer you 8 gigabytes of RAM as well as the 128 and 256 gigabytes, including the AMOLED display, the 50 megapixel camera, the IP68 waterproof resistance, wireless charging, Gorilla Glass 6, as well as the aluminum alloy frame, and a lot of the premium features that were found on the Google Pixel 6 Pro. And so for many people, the Google Pixel 6 was the option that most people were going to get because it did have the 90 hertz display, Gorilla Glass Victus on the rear. It did have stereo speakers, which did get pretty decently loud, as well as a powerful chip that will adapt to your performance and battery usage over time. And so when it came down to the overall brightness of the display, it was pretty decent to use in most situations. It did have a really nice resolution of 1080 by 2340 and 403 pixels per inch, as well as a beautiful, display that was AMOLED, a 6.4 inch size, which felt really solid in the hand and a really sturdy weight, as well as an aluminum frame and a ledge camera design that we hadn't ever seen when it came to this type of smartphone. And so what captivated many people to get the Google Pixel 6 is that it was the first device from Google that got rid of the 12 megapixel camera and upgraded to a 50 megapixel camera made by Samsung, which was supposedly supposed to bring in more light, add a little bit more details, give you a better optimization when it came to the Tensor chip, when it came to photos, because now the phone was using its very own hardware as well as its very own native software. And so finally, Android had its very own device from Google that owned its own software and hardware and basically had full control over the updates, just like Apple. And so this was a device that can go head to head with the Apple devices when it came to software updates. And so design wise, this device was a step up from the other devices because it had a really beautiful panel, really nice matte sides to it with a metal frame, Gorilla Glass Victus on the rear and Gorilla Glass 6 on the front. And when it came to the cameras, you were getting some really good low light photography as well as some pretty decent stabilization when it came to the video in 4K 30 and 60. And so the 8 megapixel on the front was a good shooter, as well as the 50 on the rear, paired along with the wide angle camera that they had left out in prior years, but they actually brought it to the Google Pixel 6. And one of the things that you were going to notice was it took really good daytime photography. In most scenarios that you did take a picture in, it was really nice. And it did have a dedicated nighttime mode, which actually brought in a lot of light, giving the Google Pixel 6 an advantage over some of the other phones in its price range. And so if you didn't have any experience taking photography with smartphones, even your grandmother could grab a Google Pixel 6 and take a photo, and it would look like a photo that was taken from somebody who knew what they were actually doing behind the camera, because the software on the Google Pixel 6 was basically mapped with certain algorithms that made it very optimized whenever you took a photo, and it had true to life skin tones, as well as features like magic eraser, a really good optimized portrait mode, and so many other features under the hood that were found on this device that I think made it stand out for the price. So many people would argue that the Google Pixel 6 was the best budget flagship device from last year, 2022. And even going into 2023, I definitely think it still has a lot of use left in it. But listen to this sound sample with the dual speakers on the Google Pixel 6, okay? So I still think the Google Pixel 6 is still a really good option when comparing it to the 6 Pro. The battery life still holds up well. It still gets its normal updates every month. It still has a really good camera system. The only thing it doesn't have is the telephoto lens that the Google Pixel 6 Pro has, and it has a lower screen resolution, but it can still perform really well with the same, Tensor 1 chipset, and it also does have some really good colors and a really good camera set that you could use. But I definitely think that this device is still useful and still a very awesome device in 2023. So I definitely would recommend picking one up, and I'll make sure I leave the cheapest links down below. But I truly appreciate you if you made it to the end of the video. If you're still here, just type down below, I'm still here. And I just want to remind you to hit the like button, but follow me on social media and check out another video on the left of the right hand corner, and I'll get right back with you. Okay, peace.